Ben, do we not keep seeing this story?
We do. I mean, it's absolutely typical of the Conservative Party, isn't it, to come out with a massive headline, a new policy, we're going to deport them all to Rwanda, we're going to get ahead of this problem, and then suddenly you find the whole project, you know, gets stuck in the mud. And you absolutely hit the nail on the head, Nigel, when you said ultimately it's a case-by-case debate. It doesn't matter that in principle the Rwandan plan doesn't breach human rights legislation. That doesn't matter, because when it comes to hearing people's cases, they will be taken one by one. And if someone claims that they were subject to servitude, enslavement, sexual abuse, or whatever it is, you then are stuck in the British judicial system, nothing, by the way, to do with the European Convention of Human Rights, our own laws, having to fight it out with the British judicial system as a government to deport these people who may, in all likelihood, as far as at least, you know, a very significant number of people coming across the Channel are concerned, are economic migrants. And that is the problem. And the Rwandan plan, by the way, just digressing for a second, but absolutely relevant, the Rwandan plan was never going to work, was it, Nigel? It was never going to work.
Well, hang on. You know, a judge in the High Court yesterday said it's perfectly legal. I mean, to be fair to the government, it was something of a victory for them.
But it presupposes that every case... So here's the conflation. The programme is legal, but will it be legal to deport anyone pursuant to that programme? And that's the big question. And it's the second question where the Rwandan plan is sadly lacking. And, you know, when you think about it, of course Rwanda was going to sign up to it. We paid them £120 million up front. I think we've paid them another 20 million since then.
And there's a hotel, there's a 50-bedroom luxury hotel.
Which we've all seen photographs of, waiting for these people.
Sue Reed, who comes on this programme sometimes, read a piece in today's Daily Mail. Yeah. But it's a lovely hotel, it's empty, but we've already parted with a great deal of money, haven't we?
We have. 1.5% of the GDP of Rwanda. No wonder they'd sign up to this. This was manna from heaven. It was money from the British government, effectively, to play the 24-hour news cycle, to get the headlines that the Tory party wanted. And the Tory party, no doubt, will now be banging their drums going, look, we told you it was legal, but they're missing the point. They still won't be able to implement it. And there are a whole host of other issues with the Rwandan plan, by the way. It only applies to single men. There's got to be a quid pro quo, so we've got to be prepared to take people from Rwanda back into this country.
Just going to pause you for a moment there. This point, I think, has been lost by everybody. It's in the small print. So let's just drill into that for a moment if we can. We will send migrants to Rwanda. We don't yet know what the cost per migrant will be, but many, many thousands per head.
Absolutely.
Many, maybe even five figures.
Yeah, I think people were talking about 30 or 40,000 per head.
You know, 5 figures per head to do this. But in the small print, we're going to take from Rwanda into our country people who have perhaps mental difficulties. Is that right? Disturbed individuals?
Absolutely. There is a straight quid pro quo. And Rwanda gets money, and it gets to get a lenient treatment for its citizens coming to the United Kingdom.
But we're also going to take problem people. This was written in. Why did the press not focus on that?
I don't know. And the single men issue is worth focusing on too, Nigel, because if you're a people smuggler, if this is genuinely about human rights and protecting human life, if you're a people smuggler, the last thing you're going to do when you're legislated against is to go down that path. You're going to stop exporting single men, and you're going to focus on women and children. So what they're actually doing with the Rwandan plan is putting women and children in danger in the Channel.